guys? It's me and Alex back again. It's been a little while.
Mm.
I want to say it's been like 2 years since we recorded a video. It's been a long time. I think, gosh, like how long? It's been 2 years. So when was the last time we talked about it? Like
The
what was
last,
the situation of the Raiders when we last talked about this?
I think it was Josh McDaniels becoming head coach, something like that.
Was it? Do we already have Devontae?
I'm not sure. I think the last memory that I have of the video was us talking about the Lakers and
Westbrook. Oh, don't get me started with
no,
that.
no, no, no. Yeah, that too. But it was the beginning of the year, and we were like, "Oh, Westbrook, Brooklyn Nets finals,
Yeah, that was a bad take.
terrible."
Really bad take. Um, anyway, we're on to newer and better things now. Yeah, it's 2024. Um, Alex is in college now. He goes to Cal State Fullerton. I'm also back in school. I go to Riverside City College. Um, so yeah, we got some things going on now. We're a little busier, but we want to try and get some of these get so at least more content out. If it's not like excuse me, if it's not a podcast video, it'll be more maybe like TikToks and shorts and YouTube reels and stuff like that. If it's not like a full 30-minute podcast or whatnot, but yeah. First thing that we want to talk about is kind of the state of the Raiders at the moment. Um, just as far as like us keeping how he thought the season went, how we thought the season went, and about AP keeping his job, us keeping him, as well as what we think we should do as far as quarterback, because Aiden O'Connell, he's a good guy, but he's not a guy. He's not a guy. He's cool. He'd be a
Good
nice
guy,
backup.
not good quarterback.
Yeah, he's not a guy. He's not a guy.
Yeah.
So so yeah, we'll start off with how did you think the season went, Alex? 8-9. We went 8-9.
Yeah, right. 8 and 9. Halfway through the year, I mean, or up to the McDaniel's firing, it was just like what's the direction of this team, right? We Jimmy G was still at quarterback. Like, what the heck was happening? Like, everybody was just like over it. Like, fire McDaniel's. It was this whole thing, right?
Right.
It happened for like 2 weeks, but then after, like, there's just like a flip that switched. Everybody in that locker room, like, it was all known. Like, okay, like there was a problem. It was addressed. We left that problem, and then now we were in better spirits. And I think what's best for the Raiders is playing with energy, right? We saw that with Rich, and then we saw that with our defense primarily with AP.
Mm-hmm.
And so us playing with energy, that's what gets us like playing above our level. So like we might be like a this caliber defense, right? On paper. But we play up to this standard because of the coach behind us. And
Right.
so AP from when he got there to when the season ended, he always kept that energy.
Right.
And I think that even though we lost to the coach, we missed out on like a positive season, like in terms of record. I think it was a W. I think it was a W of a year because of the questions that were finally answered, right? We finally have a coach now. Okay, awesome. And now there's some sense of direction. Okay, now we need a QB. That's fine. Okay. The defense is there's less questions of like, okay, who's playing this position? Who's playing that position? And now it's more so like, okay, we have something to hold on to, and we have something to build on, a foundation. That's what we needed, and we never really had that.
Mm-hmm. I got you. For me, it was. I would say it would be a like. I know it's not. Our standards are a little low, but
Mhm.
I mean, we could have had more wins than we even had. Considering like we lost to some teams we should have beat, like
Steelers, even like that game was
Steelers, the
horrible.
Bears game. Like you put those 2 wins in our pocket like that. We're, on paper, you can argue we're just as good as the Steelers, and better on paper than the Bears. So that's 10 wins. I'm not, that's not the way sports works. But I'm just saying, like, objectively speaking, like, that's a team we should beat, or be like capable of beating. So if we had AP in those games, we probably win. You know what I'm saying? So I mean, from just that standpoint, I think we're building off of something more positive and just more of a better energy around the whole organization. I'm really glad we kept AP. I wouldn't have been mad if we signed like Harbaugh or something like that. I wouldn't have been upset, but it definitely would have been like, it definitely would have been more of like, not, I would say questions, but questions isn't the right word, but it's just more like intriguing because he hasn't been in the league for so long. He's been down in Michigan. So, and it's just like, can he still coach? Of course he can still coach, but there still leaves that, that room for like, well, it's been a long time, you know. But with AP, we kind of know what we're gonna get. Right now, we're gonna get a really hard-nosed team that plays really hard, and we're gonna play above our level because, like you said, we don't have that many like the Steelers have better playmakers on their team than we do defensively. But since he was our coach, we've been playing better defense than almost anybody in the league. And it's really weird to say because we don't really, it's usually flipped the last say like 6 years with Derek Carr and all that. It's been offense. We're putting up at least a top 10 offense every year, and then we had no defense. But now it's flipped. So it's kind of a nice, it's a nice, it makes us more a little like tough minded, like the old school right away, play good defense. It's kind of nice, So, but yeah, I would say it was a win of a season just based off we have at least a mindset. We have an identity now as a team.
Yeah.
Because before I would always hear Devontae in like an interview say we don't really have an identity, we don't have something we could hang our hats on, and now it's like, okay, we're gonna play hard nosed defense, we're gonna run the ball, and we're gonna try and just let our defense almost win us the game at that point. But yeah, now it's just more of a kind of filling out, our needs. Like number one being quarterback. The next one probably being like a D tackle or a corner, so maybe something along the offensive line. Because I think we got our edges fine. Malcolm Kuntz,
You bald.
he balled out, bro. I think I don't know where I saw the stat, but I think I saw the stat. It was something like they had the most combined pressures among edge rushers in the league. It was him and Max. I saw something like that. I gotta look at it on like PFF or something, but I saw a stat like that. If somebody can quote me if I'm wrong, but yeah, it was something along the lines of really, really wild.
I wanna say like it was between a couple like weeks, maybe like a month's worth, something like close to like that. Because I know
Yeah.
from like week like 13 to like 18, they were up there. I know, yeah.
Yeah,
So that's
so
maybe,
we got some edge rushers, and I always thought he could play, but I don't know why we never gave him the chance until we kind of had to until Chandler Jones had his issues. But yeah, and then Tyree wasn't really like living up to his draft status up until the last few weeks of the season, where we moved him interior, and now he's kind of really good, or not. I wouldn't say really good, but he's improving. He's showing flashes. So I still have high hopes for Tyree because I think Khalil only had like maybe 3 sacks in his rookie year or something like that. And I want to say Tyree has more or just about the same. Not to say that he's going to be Khalil Mack, but it doesn't always go great for a high pick in their first year.
yeah.
So he still has a lot of room to grow, and I'm excited. And I'm excited for the defense for sure. But I think number one would be a corner on defense. Maybe like a real nose tackle and a real DT. But yeah, and then just obviously a quarterback, but that's something that it's a lot harder to just find. But a guy I wish we could get is Jaden Daniels, but we have to give up a lot of capital for that. Somebody that I really hope the Raiders trade for if we can't get one of those top guys in this draft. Me, you talked about it plenty of times. Justin Fields. We're big fans of Justin Fields. He's the most electrifying player I've ever seen on a football field. I'm not gonna lie. Yeah, he's obviously didn't have like his best season. He played better again in the second half of the season,
Mhm.
but I think if you put like, I know he had DJ Moore and DJ Moore balled out this year, but
Mhm.
DJ Moore's not Devontae Adams. Okay. And I think our coach is better than their coach. So yeah, and we have a real defense now. So I mean, you put like real pieces around him, and I think he, like, from a talent standpoint, I don't think there's a lot of more quarterbacks in the league that are more talented than Justin Fields. Like, just based off like what they can do, like
Mhm.
on the field,
Mhm.
like he's faster than Lamar Jackson. He's faster than like Jalen Hurts. He has probably better arms than those two guys. Like, as far as his throwing it down the field, now his like, obviously, yeah,
Mhm.
like obviously his cognitive sense of learning the game is, obviously he's not on the level of those guys yet. But I mean, that obviously comes with time. He's still young. So I hope we trade for Justin Fields. That's my hope.
Imagine, oof.
I would, that would get me really excited.
Because like,
Even if, it ends in a similar kind of season, like, at least if we can get the answer to whether or not he's a franchise quarterback for us, if it does happen, you know.
because then we tried it out, right? We have the option of a fifth year, or is
Yeah.
that I think, or is that chosen?
No, yeah. So it would be a fifth year option, unless I don't know. I
But
think that.
like, okay, so I think how it works because it's decided at the end of the third year if you want him for the next year after this upcoming one.
Mm-hmm.
So I think what would happen would be right. Let's just say the hypothetical of the Bears trading Justin Fields to the Raiders, right? And then we choose, okay, are we gonna accept or decline the fifth year?
Ah, I see. I got you.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
And so he'll go with this fourth year, and then obviously he'll need a contract, something like that. And
Yeah.
then the answer would be said. And if he's not good for us, then most likely, then we'll have a top 10-ish pick around there, and then
Yeah.
that's decent um position to like select the quarterback.
Right.
And if he is the answer, then we won't have that top 10 pick. We'll look more somewhere close to playoffs, 17,
Yeah.
18, around there.
Right. Yeah. Um. What else do you want to talk about?
Okay, so the Atlanta Falcons. The head coaching spot, it's vacant.
Right.
I'm me. Yes, Harbaugh, he just won the national championship. He's made a Super Bowl, yes. But I think like new minds in the NFL, that's what is trending to work, right? We've seen that with Mike McDaniel as a OC. Yes, he's under Shanahan, so it's like it's a bit of a resume booster, right? So, oh, he's through Shanahan, so he's gonna work, that sort of thing. But Ben Johnson, the way he works with the pieces on that Detroit Lions team, it's just he makes it like magic sometimes. Like we see Penei Sewell catching balls sometimes. Like what the heck,
Yeah.
right? Like if it wasn't for a Dallas Cowboys the ref messing that whole thing up, Frank Ragnow or Taylor Decker would have won the game. Like that's insane. Old lineman winning the game, but like that sort of like creativity, I think I would just like the Atlanta Falcons in my mind.
What they can do with the players that they have
Mm-hmm.
is like, is ridiculous. They just obviously need a quarterback,
Uh-huh.
but
But they're in the position. They have the eighth pick. Let's just say they
yeah,
move up to 6, 5. Penix, I think, is still on the board.
yeah. It's hard to argue like weapons wise, like playmakers, like there's like, it's hard to argue. Obviously, you have your real contending teams, but it's hard to argue how many more teams that have better playmakers than the Falcons. Like, actually, like
Mm-hmm.
Drake London, Kyle Pitts, Bijan, like, those are all first round picks. Those are all guys that, were highly touted out of college, and they just, for whatever reason, their coach thought we should run our offense through Jonnu Smith and Tyler Algier for my
Scotty
fantasy.
Miller gets a touchdown.
Like,
Like,
it's ridiculous, like so yeah, I think a guy like Ben Johnson on the Falcons would do wonders for them. I think they'll be end up like a top 10 offense. Like as soon as a guy like him enters the building, they're a top 10 offense. Like you don't I didn't even have to see it because
Exactly.
he's
They'd be
just
the most exciting team in the league to watch.
definitely. I agree on the offensive side of the ball.
Yes, yes. Uh-huh.
Transitioning into basketball. Transition to basketball now. The Lakers. This is our team, as people might know. I'm confused. I'm just I don't see
Next
I don't see
segment.
how
Nah.
I don't see how we're not the same team that we were last year or better. I don't get it. I honestly think it's a Darvin Ham issue. Um, I really do. I don't want to put the blame on any one person because I know there's a lot of
Yeah.
it's not just one guy all the time, but I feel like a lot of it can be put on Darvin Ham as the coach, just because like I know the stats out there somewhere, but we've only played less than like I've heard like 5 minutes together of the roster or the lineup that we had going into the Western Conference Finals last year. That doesn't make any sense. That makes zero sense to me.
It would only like it's just hard for me to fathom that like okay, the same team that we went to the conference finals with, that starting five isn't starting on opening day. Like
Yeah, that makes no sense.
I know Vando was hurt, right? He was hurt for
Right.
like months, couple weeks, yes. Okay, but like the majority should be the same. You're
Yeah.
not still like why is Rui still on the bench?
Yeah, this shouldn't be a feeling out process anymore. Like
Exactly.
I get we were missing Rui for a little bit, we were missing Vando, we're still missing Gabe Vista. I get that part. But Rui's healthy for the most part now. Vando's healthy for the most part now. Like you have a lineup that's proven to work, and you're playing Torian Prince 35 minutes a game. You're playing Cam Reddish 30 minutes a game over Rui, over Vando. Like it doesn't make any sense. Like
And I
that's
get the
just
narrative of the like TP, he's a solid player. He
I
can
like I
hit, he
like
can knock down the
TP.
threes.
I like TP.
Yeah. Play solid defense. The Cam is primarily a defender, but like you know what worked for you last year. Why are you going away from it?
Yeah, like I'm. It's not a knock on Torian Prince or Cam Reddish. I like them. I was fans of them
Mm.
picking them up. I really like that on our team. But to go away from what worked for you to get you to where you got last year, that doesn't make sense. It's not a knock on those players themselves, but it's a more of a knock on the like what are you thinking about as a coach as far as lineups? Like go with what you worked with last year, then those additions that you got, then you plug and play them as as you see fit. If something's not working with that other lineup, then you can start making changes. But don't not have played that good lineup that worked for you all year and then switch it up a bunch of different times and still not use that same lineup. That doesn't make any sense to me.
Mhm.
As far as the rumors going around like DeJounte Murray, how do you feel about that? I've been of the mindset that I think we should trade for DeJounte Murray, to be honest with you. I would like to keep Reeves, and I would rather trade D'Lo just because it's more of like a fit. But I mean, if we trade Reeves, I wouldn't mind it either. But I mean, I think DeJounte will help us just from a pure like more of like a downhill aspect of our team, different than Russ because he can actually shoot compared to Russ, and I think he's a better defender. And I think on our team, he'll be a better defender than he was in Atlanta or even in San Antonio because of the fact that we got Anthony Davis standing back there, protecting the paint. I just think it's a better. It'll make somebody want to play more defense. You got an all defensive player right behind you all the time. That's just my opinion.
Yeah.
And I think it'll work better. Just he's more of a fast paced kind of guard. He'll get you some easy fast break. Like D'Lo's more of like a pick and roll. D'Lo's like they both have their advantages and disadvantages. D'Lo's being a better shooter, a better
Yeah.
pick and roll player, probably better at getting his teammates involved. But on the flip side of that, he kind of psychs himself out of the game sometimes when his shot's not falling, when he's not getting the ball, and he's just kind of a cone on defense sometimes. He gets picked on a lot. So I think DeJounte would be the flip side of that. He'll be a better defender. If his shot's not falling, he can still play defense and get steals and run in transition. You know what I mean? Like, I think it's just a little bit different dynamic, which I'm okay with. Because at this point, like, we shouldn't be losing to teams like the Nets. Like, it's so annoying. Like, we beat the Mavericks, we're a good team. We beat the Thunder, we're a good team, and then we fall on our faces, trap game, and lose to the Nets. Like that, like that's not what a contending team does, if you ask me.
Yeah. Yeah.
And
Like
it's just go ahead, go ahead.
how can you show that you can beat like the second seed in the West, right? And then a solid team of the Mavericks, right? And then you just fall on your face. Like that shouldn't, right? Like you said, like that shouldn't happen. And then with right with DeJounte Murray, I'm a little bit in between. I am because like I see what we can have with D'Lo. Like we've shown like the good of D'Lo and what the rest of the team how it excels when it does, right? When D'Lo's on, the entire team's on, right? But sometimes you can see when D'Lo's off, it's just damn the whole entire team. It's broke. Like they can't hit a shot too. Like so his energy it kind of feeds off of everybody else in a good way and in a bad way.
Mm-hmm.
With the defensive part, I can because I saw the DeJounte's defensive rating from like 2 years ago when he was on the Spurs at peak value, right? When he was one of the best defenders, NBA defender in the league. And then last year and then this year. So it's been declining, but I can see the narrative of like, okay, he's still that good of a defender. He's just getting a bigger task because he has Trey Young on his side. So he has to do like so much more and he just can't because he's guarding the best guard instead of, the like Trey Young doing it.
Yeah.
They're always there's obviously a disadvantage when Trey Young's on somebody, so they're obviously gonna switch back, right? And so
Mm-hmm.
I can see the narrative of like, okay, DeJounte is guarding the best guard every single night, and so it's just he's not gonna be as good as 2 years ago every single night because he's getting that task.
And what I'm thinking is you put him right next to Anthony Davis, Jared Vanderbilt, bunch of long defenders. I think he's gonna be even better. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah. Uh-huh.
it takes less pressure off of him as being, oh, you got to be our best defender. You know,
Exactly.
like
Exactly.
Clint Capella is a good defender. He's a good rim protector. He's not Anthony Davis. You
Exactly.
know, so I think that'll help his defensive side of the ball for me.
Mhm.
So if it took, oh, he missed. Sorry, watching the Lions game and then, okay. So
Who missed the
if, huh,
who missed
uh, who is
was it
it?
right?
No,
Suck up?
so if he missed the field goal. Yeah. Um, yeah. So if it took like a first round pick, Austin Reeves, Max Christie, JHS, and like a second round pick, would you do it for like DeJounte and like Bogey or like Capella? Because that's a lot of stuff.
That is a lot of stuff.
So Reeves, Christie.
Okay. I got an answer,
Okay.
but it's a better developed answer than just the yes or no.
Okay.
Okay. So in the off season, right, we were the thought was okay, everybody's gonna match Reeves. They don't want the Lakers to have another, young star. He's on his contract. Everybody's gonna match. We're gonna look at something like maybe four for like 85, something of that nature. Right. It came out, nobody matched. Right. It was four for like 54. Right. And it got increasingly bigger throughout the year of the contract because okay, Reeves is most likely gonna improve.
Hmm.
I'm on the train now. And I think I've always was on this train. I never thought he was gonna turn into the star that we thought he was. And I know like over what the 39 games, the 40, 43-ish we've played so far, it's been right? He hasn't looked like anything crazy, but I don't think he can be like a guy, right? I think his PG at best can be something close to Zach Levine, but even at that, like Zach Levine's a really, really good scorer, right? He can get a bucket when he needs to. With Reeves, I don't think he can just like force that upon himself and be like, you know what?
He
All
can't be
right,
our third best player.
exactly, exactly.
I think D'Lo could maybe be our third best player when he's playing well, when he's on. You know, because I mean, when he was our third best player, which was like, I mean, it was almost like a mix of him and Reeves being like that third-ish guy in the playoffs. It was like him and D'Lo were kind of sharing it. So I mean, to me, Dejounte's like he's an all-star. He is an
Yeah.
all-star.
Uh-huh.
So I would trade Reeves, who's not an all-star, for an all-star that works for our team. He's not Westbrook. He's not the same thing. You know.
And also like to one more quick thing, the timeline isn't Austin Reeves, it's LeBron James.
Yes.
We're gonna maximize whatever we can do to make sure that we can win with the best players on our team right now. So if we have to give up seconds, the rookies that we just drafted, Austin Reeves, who we don't know who can be that guy yet, we still don't know. It's a what if, right? If he's an all-star in the future. If we can give
Right.
that up for DeJounte Murray, who's a proven all-star, right? I think with the people that we do have in our squad, good defenders, he'll be that kind of guy again.
Yeah, and I think it goes even to another level other than just on the court. I think it's still gonna show LeBron like, you know, we're still trying, you know, we're like we brought back the guys that we thought we were gonna come back and be, you know, a good top 3 team, and it hasn't worked out. So we're still trying to make this team better and get it to where you can get us to a championship. Getting a DeJounte Murray does that. And, you know, he has another year left after this, I think, right? After LeBron on his contract.
I think he did a 2 year.
Yeah, so he has this year, and then next year's his last season with us again. This is part of that 1 year. This is 1 year out of that 2 year extension. So next year will be his last year. So I mean, it'll prove it to him. You know, they're still trying. They still want to. They still want to win. He likes LA. I don't think he wants to go anywhere. You know.
Mhm.
So I feel like a nice little 3-headed monster. Because I mean, even if we trade Reeves, Max, and like, you know, some picks, like we're still gonna have a really nice team. If you ask
Yeah,
me,
yeah.
it'll be like, say we might flip D'Lo, whatever. You could run a lineup of like D'Lo, Dejounte, LeBron, Rui, and like AD or Vando, whatever it is, right? Like, and then you still got a TP on the bench. You probably might still have Gabe Vincent on the bench. You'll still have a Cam Reddish. Like, you'll still have nice pieces. Like, pieces to me, like, will feel like we still have enough to win. You know what I'm
Mhm.
saying? Like, I feel like DeJounte just gives us another dimension of our team that we wouldn't have had otherwise. Because if D'Lo's not hitting the shots, he's just, I'm sorry, when he's not on, he's just way off. And in Reeves, sometimes you can't just force him the rock sometimes, because
Yeah.
you know, like, it's just sometimes
He
it's not it. It's not
he's there
there.
offense. He can't
Yeah,
throw the ball on the court.
exactly. And
If we tell him, "Oh, go get a bucket," he'll try to do that, but there'll be still like 17 seconds on the shot clock.
yeah, there's like it's not like a shot at Reeves. It's just DeJounte Murray is a better basketball player than Austin Reeves. And
Yeah.
anybody who says different and that says that they're close, I don't get it. I don't get that. So yeah, I hope we get DeJounte, because I think that'll help us out a lot. I think that'll put us like, if we're able to get like a trade with DeJounte and like Capella or Bogey in there, I would really like that for us. I think it'd be worth it.
Mhm.
So yeah, that's gonna wrap it up for us, Alex. We're running out of time on our Zoom. So I don't know when exactly we're gonna do another one. I don't know when this video is gonna come out, but yeah, I'll start working on it.
Mhm.
Yeah, so we're gonna try and get some more of these out. Like I said, some more like shorter videos, some more like TikTok clips, some YouTube reels, stuff like that. So
And watch out for some baseball content too.
oh, baseball stuff. Yeah, we're talking baseball stuff too. We're gonna talk some
Yeah.
baseball stuff.
We're gonna be
Whereas-
heavy on the baseball.
Yeah, we're gonna do. Yeah, baseball stuff will come for people that are interested in the baseball stuff. So
Mm-hmm.
that'll come. Yeah. So that was gonna be a wrap for me and Alex. Take care, guys. Peace out.
Peace.